All right, guys, we're back again, live in studio through Facebook tonight. And as you said, we have give you a little preview early on today, and we plan to go in much in-depth details with the real special guests. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Ian and Ian, for having me. It's a pleasure being here. Pleasure linking up back with the old friends.
Yes, man. Welcome, welcome.
So, Ian, we're gonna let you start off by just get some. Just let the people know who we have in studio, cause you guys have like ABC in common.
Okay, guys. So to all our viewers, this is the first of this Ian and Ian, where we'll be bringing on friends, family, loved ones, whoever basically is able to influence another in a positive way. And this show basically started out of me and Ian really did a little chat, we'll call it, right? Ian, we'll call it a little chat on Facebook. And after that, Ian said it would be good if we could get together and put on more of this. And in doing so, I'm saying to Ian and Ian is saying to we didn't have a plan in terms of execute, but we said to ourselves, we're just gonna allow God to take control. So when Ian put forward and said, okay, Mr. Winston Smith will be coming on, I'm like, who is this person? So I know the first thing we'll do, if you don't Google, now you're going to somebody Facebook and start looking and see who the person is. So very early out, I realized I had two things in common with the gentleman we have on board here, Mr. Winston Smith, and that we both went to St. Elizabeth Technical High School and we went to the case together. But Ian, what you didn't know that later on, I'm still looking closer to this photo. I'm like, there's something about this gentleman. I seem like I know him longer than just Steths days. And then to my realization, is a man that we went to primary school with. He is my senior from primary school, and it seems I've been chasing him all over. Because being in primary school, he was way ahead of me. Then by the time I get to Steths, he's leaving Steths. When I get to Case, he's leaving Case. But I can tell you, this is a man of work and integrity. So we're just gonna welcome Mr. Winston Smith to the platform, and he'll tell you more about yourself. But Mr. Winston, before you get into it, I want you to help me out with basically who is Winston Smith, but first in your community. Ian will ask you about the Steths part when you get to Steths, but just give us a detail and briefing. We have people watching from all over, especially in St. Elizabeth there. So take it away, Mr. Winston Smith.
All right, Ian, I wonder how much time you have. All right, I'm Winston Smith, and I like to say Winston Roy Smith, and my staff would say Winston Augustus Roy Smith because they tell me that no, you see, Augustus is not a part of it yet, but it's a name that I tend to hold on to because it was the middle name of my favorite and my most influential teacher, Ezekiel Augustus Roy Crawford, principal of Rosal All-Age School. He was more like a father figure to me, and with him having Roy as part of his middle name, with the Augustus part. So sometimes when I want my teachers or my students to have fun at my name, I just plug in the A in it and tell them it's spelled Wars. Okay. But I'm Winston Roy Smith, and that's my name by birth. And I was named, according to my mother, my father named me Winston, of the name of Winston Churchill. And my surname Smith being the family name. I don't know where they put the Roy. They probably figured I wasn't going to be bright. So they give me an easy name to spell. But I am the 9th of 11 children. So I have 10 siblings, 2 younger than me, and I have 8 older than myself. And all 11 of us would have divided in terms of high school. 4 would have gone to Monroe, 4 went to Steths, 2 went to Bishop Gibson High, and 1 to Hampton. But I left Steths, I left Rosal, and I I went to St. Elizabeth Technical High School, Steths, in, I think it was the same year Gilbert Blow, because that was the year when I met Wheatley. When we
87,
actually,
1987.
yeah, right, yeah, 78, right. We had Gilbert in 88. I remember we were walking on the streets in Santa Cruz. That's where I met him. You really get to meet him, so to speak. I would see him, but never
Yeah.
really interacted with him like that until Gilbert. But after leaving Steths, I came to Kingston directly because once we graduated from high school, we would move to Kingston to live with our brothers, because in our family, we really don't have a father. As you would know, Ian, my dad died when I was 2 years old. And
Yes, we heard of that then.
right, so my dad died when I was 2, going 3. I had Linval, my little brother, was a baby, and my mother was 6 months pregnant with PJ, which would have been your classmate.
Yes.
And your other brother, Omar, classmate, they went to Monroe.
Omar and Ruan and PJ would spend a lot more time because they went to Monroe.
Right, they went to Monroe. But you and I would have gone to Steths and Linval. You would know Linval more than even
Yeah, I know
spend more
Linval.
time with Linval. You're right. So after leaving Steths, I went to Kingston. And my first days in having reached Kingston, I spent 6 months working in a supermarket, packing bags. And there's a particular young lady from Immaculate. If I should ever meet her again, I would have to credit her for the direction that I taken. I remember it was a Thursday in particular, and I was in the baggage compartment because at that time I was working so well. The manager promoted me to the supervisor of the guys who were doing the packing. And quickly realizing that on a Thursday, the supermarket was slow, so I was scheduled myself to go in the baggage area at that time because you get some tip when you work on the front and when business going good. But I was in the baggage compartment and I remember this young lady. I think I don't remember her name right now, but she had a Trapper Keeper folder, and I had the folder in the compartment. She had a biology test paper, and she failed the test miserably. And I was looking at the paper and I said, "Oh my God, this thing is so easy because I'm a biologist. I mean, I did very well in the sciences at Steths." So I was looking at it. I think she had done cell biology, and I'm saying that this is so easy. So when she came back, I said to her, "Come here. Here's the area where you made a mistake." The question was to differentiate between plant and animal cell, and I remember the thing, man. And I started to show her, and the little girl looked at me and said, "Well, little dirty packer boy." And it woke in me a kind of a consciousness to say, listen, you didn't go to high school and pass your exams just to become called. You're not to be called a little dirty packer boy. So
that was ugly.
Yeah, man. And I went to my brother Clayton at the time was working at had just left Papi in school where he was teaching a short-term thing. But he was not working at NCB Bank. And I went to him and I told him of my experience and how insulting it was and how I felt. And he said to me, then listen, if you feel that way about it, then it's time for you to get up and go do something more productive with your life because you're far more qualified than what you're doing. By the time, you get complacent, you're earning a decent salary. I think I have no expense, especially because being so of the lower end, I didn't really have much of a responsibility of financing much of my siblings because it was just PJ Limbaugh behind me. So I was kind of comfortable. But then, that insult took a serious toll on my self-esteem at the time. And having spoken with Clayton said, listen, apply for some jobs. Schools are employing pre-trained teacher. He was one. So I applied at Papi in junior secondary school at the time. And when I did the interview, I interviewed even just 60 subjects I had, but I interviewed with teachers who had diplomas and degrees. But for some reason, the principal saw in me something that peradventure I didn't even see in myself. And she selected me for an 8-month job. And I was asked to teach some remedial students. I taught them all the subjects in math, science, social studies, religious education, PE, all the things. I was the only teacher these students had. But I found that I took on a simplistic approach in terms of I didn't treat these kids as though they were, remedial students. I would go to school early and would sit down with them on the wall or wherever they were sitting. I met them at their level. I would sit down and reason with them. And I started to share with them some of the very things that Mr. Coaffer would have shared with me because at that time, my brothers and sisters, it's as if as they go into common entrance, they pass the exam. But that wasn't the case for me. So I feel I got one shot at common entrance, I failed it. I did the Steths entrance, I failed it too. And I failed about 3 or 4 other exams before Mr. Crawford actually took me in his office one day. And he said to me, Winston, stop, you're a bright boy. You're doing very well. You're always in the top 3 or 4 in your class. But yet you're not passing the exam. Here's what you do. Tell me what is the problem you're having. I said, why? Sometimes I go in the exam, it's like me fret because the expectation of my brothers and sisters and my mother is that I should pass. And the expectation of the community is that I should just pass. It's as if they behave as if once my name is written on the paper, then pass should be ascribed beside it. And he said to me that, listen, man, when you go in the exam, forget about all of that. Just think of yourself in a classroom, doing your classwork. And forget about exam, forget about the pressure there, And I actually did what he told me to do. And when I finished, I passed the exam with flying colors. And that's the approach I took to my teaching of my students. And I started talking with them to say, listen, forget about the things that people say about you. I am here as your teacher, and my aim is to do the best I can with you, to ensure that you do the best you can for yourself. And I did a very good job with them, but unfortunately, it was just an 8-month job, and I had to go. When I left Papine in 93 August, I started calling around for calling schools and so forth. And I called Stony Hill All-Age School at the time, and I spoke with then Principal Polly Bowles Howell. She interviewed me over the phone, and she asked me where I'm from, and I said I'm from Southeast St. Elizabeth. And she said, "What that year those farming, man?" And I said, "Yes, I have a grade 1 in agriculture." And she said, "Oh, we need an agricultural science teacher. Can you do that?" And I said, "Yes." At the time, Ian, I had no idea what an agricultural science teacher be required to. But I just couldn't allow the job to pass me.
Definitely.
So I went to Stony Hill in September of 93, and I taught agriculture there. And believe me, I think I did well. Mrs. Howell will tell, and she still speaks about it, the quality of my work and the zeal with which I perform my duties. I took children to Denby and we came first, second, third. The lowest we got was a third. We also supply the supermarkets and the restaurants in Stony Hill with vegetables. I planted a 1/4 acre of coffee that was doing very well. I did all mini-set technology, showing the children how to use mini-set technology to plant Irish potato, yam, and so forth. We started a poultry project, a rabbit project, and so forth. We cut down the hillside, we planted pineapples. I mean, strawberry, you name it, we had it. Because I would simply talk to my brother, Clinton, who is a farmer. He graduated from College of Agriculture. So anything I didn't know, I would run to him and he would advise me, along with his colleagues who used to work at the Dial Coffee Company up in Mount James in the hills of St. Andrew. So I would get good agronomical advice from him and from his colleagues and so forth, and I would bring it to my job as a teacher at school. And we did very well. So much so that Mrs. Howell said to me, listen, you need to go to college. You can't stay here just like that. And I went to college in 94. That's when I went to Pasti Gardens Teachers College. I wanted to go to the agriculture college, but then I changed my mind after a while and decided, since I'm doing so well in teaching, I've always done very well. My students learn when I teach, and with Dr. Howell no, but then Polly Bowles Howell, she keep encouraging me to stick with teaching. And so I went to Pasti Gardens Teachers College where I did double option science, chemistry, physics, biology with a minor in mathematics. But when I left Case, it was Case by then, but I completed my diploma at Mico rather than Case. I came back to Mico to complete it. And from Mico, I went back to Papine in 1997 now. And I've never looked back since then. So when I went there as a regular science teacher. And by 2002, I became the head of the science department. And by 2005, I was grade supervisor along with head of science department and so forth. And we transformed Papine School. I really work hard. I mean, I've been there through the transition from junior secondary to comprehensive to high school. And to this day, I will tell anybody without any fear of contradiction, God has been good to me because he placed me in schools or places where I received quality mentorship and coaching. And to this day, as good as Polly Bowles Howell was as a principal to me, none can walk anywhere close the principal of Papine High School when I was there, Cynthia Peart. That lady is a principal beyond measure. When you talk about somebody who will mentor and mold the mind of a young person and mentor them into quality individual, You talk about Cynthia Peart, man. That lady was a gem, and she helped me. She kept me in a path that will lead to quality educational opportunities, quality teaching, quality performance at all times. She never accepted mediocrity from me. She always believed that I should be doing better than what others are doing. And there was a point in time I got really annoyed. And I said to her, I waited after school and I went into her office and said, Miss, I'm tired of you pressuring me. It's as if you expect me to be more than anybody. I'm a human being. And then she looked at me with a smile on her face. Because I thought, after she said it, I really catch up on myself. I said, but Jesus, peace, my principal, me attack. So. But then she looked at me with a smile. She looked at me with a smile, one of those very, interesting smiles that she have. And she looked at me and she said, Winston, let me ask you something. No, this is the principal calling me Winston, not Mr. Smith. No.
Yeah.
And, that's when I kind of relaxed though, because I realized he's not trouble now. And she looked at me and she said to me that what do you expect me to do if I see greatness in you? And she said to me, can you get, because I didn't know she was from St. Elizabeth. So she said to me that if you don't know that sometime when you want to make bam, you have to wring the cassava.
Okay.
Yes, you have to wring it and squeeze out the juice. So you can get the bamia, you can get cassava starch. And it resonated with me because we used to do that, and I realized that in order for you to get the poison out of the cassava, you have to really extract it by pressure. And then I remember, from a chemistry background, if you want to make diamond, it has to go through pressure. And she looked at me and she said, "Listen, endure it, and you'll see the results." And I stuck to the task, and I moved through the ranks, being just a regular class teacher, right up, became grade supervisor, head of department, and a close ally or confidant of the principal. I then took on the role now of becoming the JTA contact teacher in the school. That is where now we start to blossom in terms of industrial relations. And one evening she said to me, if you're going to take this thing serious, you need to go and study some more. So I went to UWI and did a certificate in management studies. And that was when I got my first real taste of industrial relations and human resource management. Incidentally, my lecturer then is the current permanent secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Works. I just can't remember her name. Every time I talk about it, I forget her name. But she's an Adventist lady. She was a permanent secretary at the Ministry of Education at one point in time. But she was my first lecturer in industrial relations, and she did an awesome job. I fell in love with IR same time.
All right, Winston. So right now you at UTech, all right?
That was at UWI.
UWI. All right. So what we want to do, my questions for you that I'm going to ask you, I'm going to revert back a little bit before are we going to save the real success for Ian? But I want to ask you, we just want to let the people them know. I just want to get a little flashback about what your life was at Steths. So just for the record, so just say what year did you went to Steths?
I went to Steths 1988 September, and I was very excited when Gilbert came because I don't know if I was ready for school. So I was very excited. I'll be honest with you, I was very excited when Gilbert came. I mean, plus the ragging at Steths at the time, the first week here, man, oh Lord, when you had people like yes, man, they had people like Gusty Brown, Ada, and Tikaros, Tedroy Jones, and them guys there,
Jolo.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. And Jolo used to do I think Ian would know Jolo well because Jolo used to do the pole vault.
Yeah.
And we had a guy that was called Decathan or something like that. He was the head boy, and Gary Pang and Gary
Gary Samuel.
Yes, I met him in Port Lauderdale. I think he's a pilot now.
Yeah. Gary's doing very well. So you came to Steths
right in those times. Yes, 88.
You 88 and you graduate 93?
92, because I did it. I instead of right. You see, I should have come in 80 in first form, in 7th grade. But I did both exams and I was successful in both the 7th grade exam and the 8th grade one. But
Okay.
at the time, I didn't want Linval and PJ to catch me up in high school, so I opted to go in the 8th grade.
Ah, okay, okay, okay,
Yes, because
okay.
had I gone to 7th grade, then chances are Linval or PJ would have catch me up.
Okay.
So
You had a big happy brother.
yes,
All right.
so I took the option of going 8th grade, so I
Okay.
could put myself a little gap between them. But I did. I
So,
went there, and Steths life was great. It was really good enough.
okay. So you spent the 4 years, and I could just let the people know that back in St. Elizabeth in Santa Cruz that we used to live on the same street, Institution Drive.
Right,
You know,
because yes, when I came to States, because of our house is so far, we live in Southeast St. Elizabeth, Rosal to be exact. So
yeah,
it's actually 25 miles from my house to States. My mother boarded me at with a lady named Miss Green. Just well, you were at Institution. I was at Pagan Avenue, which would have intersect with Institution Drive.
But
So
I've
I'd
been
walk.
following you all around, man. That's where I was doing a pagan drive
Yeah.
on the back road there. Road close to Beatles.
Right, yes, man, right in front of the legendary Beagle Hog Pit.
all right. So just tell us a little bit. Just let the people know like what life was like. How long approximately you think it take you to walk to school in the morning?
All
To
right.
go up the
It
steps.
it would take me roughly 15 minutes because we wouldn't come all the way out into the town.
Yeah.
We identified a little shortcut. So you continue from Pagan Drive now out a little further. I don't remember that road name, and then you come up to where the Anglican church is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
Anglican church, right? And then once you cross
Yeah.
the road, you then take the back road cross center and come up into Steths.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right. Because at that time, those new plazas that you see they built there wasn't there, so it was just open land. So we could walk.
Okay.
And of course it's a good place to run and hide from Shaka.
All right. All right. Tell them. Do you know a little place called Dunkley Town? Do you remember it?
Yes, yes, man, Dunkley Town. That's when you go around, as if you're going around Brighton. That's where Christopher Levy and a couple of other guys from my class is from. So we used to walk around Dunkley Town, I mean,
Okay.
unknown to Miss Green, of course, because Miss Green would have probably want to beat us. And I mean, she was just our caregiver, so to speak, because I stayed there for a year.
All
And after
right.
a year, I went back to Rosal and I started traveling. And then my mother said, no, this is not good. And I went to George's Valley to live with a cousin of mine around there. But then after spending a month around there, I couldn't, one bus business, a little country bus, it was transportation was difficult. And I used to complain
Yeah.
to my mother why it can't work. And then she said, all right. So I went back to Rosal. Then my sister came to me.
Mr.
Yeah, man,
Mando.
yeah, man, that was. But then with the same thing I was telling you about earlier at the end, that wasn't sustainable either. So I went to live in Lacovia with my sister and my brother at that time. Clayton was working at in the early days, Clayton was working at Magati before
Yeah.
he came
Okay.
to Kingston. So I used to live with him and my sister Bev. But then
Okay.
Clayton came to leave St. Elizabeth to Kingston and Bev moved into to college too. So I had to go back to Rosal. And I traveled from then until January of '92. My mother migrated and we couldn't stay in Rosal anymore, so I went to live in Jerusalem. And that's
Okay.
where I
Okay.
stayed. And
Jerusalem. All right.
yes, so I stayed at Jerusalem, both myself and Linval. So I spent 8 months there from January, well, 6 months really, from January to June, but Linval spent the other year. So he spent 16 months there. And Miss Janet, God rest her soul, was a very nice, I tell you, God bless me so nice women in my life,
Yeah.
who took very good care of me. And
All right. All right. All right.
we move on
All
from there.
right. That's definitely the beginning of life at Steths. So while you're at Steths, can you actually describe what just give
What
me
life
one of
was
the
like on campus.
yeah on campus. Give me except the ragging and the grubbing for the first week. What was your best memory? What can you remember while
My best,
going to Steths
uh,
that stuck
my
out to you?
best, my best memory at Steths, apart from saying what I would have done academically, was Shane Ford.
Okay.
When I
Okay.
started, yes, Shane was the one who introduced and Groundsy. I don't know Groundsy right name.
Yeah,
Everett something, I think Everett.
I just know him as Groundsy. I
Groundsy.
remember,
Everybody know him as Groundsy.
right. I was captain in my class team in a cricket match. I was in
Mhm.
9F at the time and we were playing some grade 10 boys. But that grade 10 class had Courtney Barnett. We used to call him Bam.
Yeah,
Bam
man.
used to play Headley
Head
Cup
the cup.
cricket. Right. No, I was captain in team against Courtney Barnett and a couple others, and I did very well, man. I mean, I didn't even know I didn't even know I was swinging the ball when I was bowling. So I was actually a swing bowler, and I was very good at batting. And Groundsy came to me one day and said, "Listen, young boy, you need to come try. How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 14, going 15 or thereabout." Yeah. And he said, "Listen, you need to come try out for the under 16 cricket team." So I said, "Okay, I don't have time for that. My mother will kill me going to cricket." Because I mean, at the time, in our family, sports was not really seen as a vehicle because all of us were in the academic route. And but I really love cricket. I used to play cricket for Rosal Early at school. I played under 12, I played under 13. I was playing with the bigger boys. I used to play against the big men and women, the big men in Rosal. So I was very good at it. And so I wanted to play cricket. And I was happy when Groundsy carried me to JB. Junior Bennett was the coach at the time, and he asked me to come to training. But then when I went to training and the Headley Cup boys were there, Richard Stape was the captain, Lazar, Clive Legister, I think he's the coach now.
He's a coach now, yeah.
Right, we had a guy named Tix, Robert
Yeah,
Manning.
man.
Right, those are the guys playing the big. Those are the big men, Cause these guys look like big men to us that then.
Yeah.
But
The
then
man them beard up. Some of the man them beard up and
yes,
thing.
man, because you had Donovan Clark and you have this guy used to bowl this guy had grey hair, and he used to bowl pace.
Folks.
Clifton Folks.
Clifton Folks, man.
Yes, man. Those guys you're afraid of, man. These were men compared to us. And but Shane Ford came over to me and he asked me what I can do. And I said, "Listen, I can bat, I can bowl." Groundsy say I swing the ball when I bowl and I can bowl off spin. And I try leg break every now and then. And he actually took me under his wings and he said, "All right, you want to play cricket? I will work with you." Shane Ford was a keeper, wicket keeper.
Yeah.
And he gave me my first real cricket bat, a Duncan Fernley bat. And I never forget, up to this day. I mean, when Ford started playing for Jamaica, I went to every match. Everywhere he played, I would go. Even sometimes he didn't get to see me. But I didn't progress in cricket because my cricketing prowess started to increase, but my academic fell. And of course, my brothers and my mother gave me a fine piece of beating that year.
That not gonna happen at all.
Can't happen, no, because I wasn't balancing the cricket and the academics at all. I failed in that regard. And I remember in those days, Steths had a policy: if your average fell below 40, you have to leave. They couldn't stay. And my average was way down, man, barely about over 40. And I remember
panic attack.
Man, oh Lord, heart attack could have nearly killed me. And Shaka called me in his office and said, "Listen, young man, your baby scraping on. You need to make a decision. Are you going to play cricket or are you going to do the academics?"
That's great stuff.
Well, I'm telling you, that was going to be my next question because we have to talk about Samuel Watson, aka Shaka, the principal. I know everybody have an experience with him. Just say for the fans and for the memories. Tell me what's what. Just tell me one thing you could remember about Shaka.
That must be in Shaka office in that close space.
Yes, but no, hold on. One evening I was outside on the corridor, giving trouble, waiting on Mando bus to come. And Shaka come out and said, "You little fatherless boy, you want me shock you?" There are times when much as my brothers tried, because as I said before, I didn't have a father. My father died, and so my brothers, especially Lloyd and Philip, and well, it's really my siblings, all of the older ones, but Lloyd in particular, who is the oldest. He became the father of the family, and sometimes, much as they tried, the fees would come a little late and so forth, and I'd have to go in the office and negotiate with Shaka, to get a lunch ticket, because you remember those days, guys, we used to have to get a lunch ticket to get lunch.
Yes, man. Help a lot of
You
people.
you can't get lunch. And if your school fee is not paid, then your name wouldn't go to the form teacher for you to get a lunch ticket. So I'd have to go to Shaka to negotiate now, to say, "Listen, the fee will be paid, boy, And I remember one day, Shaka who would hard and me said, "Boy, Mr. Watson, I don't know father, and my father dead, And I'm really coming from and so she had compassion on us and myself and a couple others because we had different occasions, but we're in the office for the same reason. School fee was late, and so that's how he knew that my father died. And I don't know what happened in a shock ahead that evening. I don't know, maybe I was giving too much trouble because I was sliding on rain fell. I was running and sliding on the concrete, and I drag people. Like people going to fall, and you grab onto somebody and drag them. You're having fun. Shaka asked me if he want me to shot. But I mean, that was nice.
That sounds very good. So what was one of your so obviously just let us know what did you study at Steths, and what was your biggest accomplishment?
All right. At Steths I did you guys would know you have two science programs. You have two pathways in science. You have either natural sciences, straight science, you do chemistry, physics, bio, and geography, along with math and English. Or you have the agricultural science. We would have done chemistry, physics, bio, along with agriculture. So I took the agricultural science pathway. And,
boy, I've been following you all along, boy. That's my road too.
Yes, in that class, we had some brilliant children in a man. Brilliant children. But one thing I can tell you, I was number 2. Well, it was tight between myself and Malachi Rowe. I think he's still teaching at Steths.
Yes.
In agriculture. Yes. In agriculture. He and I, we were the 2 top students. So much so that we were given special privilege. We had the keys to the farm. We had responsibilities for the chickens. And I remember when rapping came there in 92 and they needed a student to demonstrate castration. I was the one selected from the entire class to do it. We had an agricultural science quiz team. I was also on that team. I was the vice captain to Malachi. And we went to Cecil Charlton Hall and played a match and we won. But I don't know what happened after that. We didn't go any further. I don't know if the thing was cancelled or what, but I remember we went to Cecil Charlton Hall in Manchester. We played a match and we won the match. I don't know what transpired after that. But pretty much in terms of academics, I would have done well. I got my CXCs. I didn't get chemistry. But such it is that when I left college one of the top performer in chemistry. I've never taught it since leaving college, though, but I was very good at it in the latter end, and that is part of the thing we teach with me something. It taught me
things. Did you have Mr. Jones as a teacher?
Winston Jones taught me. Yeah, man, Winston Jones taught me organic chemistry.
The big head man.
Yes, man. He was my. No joke, yeah. We used to call him Head Almighty. We used to call him.
Yep.
Head Almighty. We used to call him, man. But he was my teaching practice supervisor too, and he guided me well within his with his limitation, because he's not a trained teacher per se, but he guided me nonetheless. And I did very well in teaching practice. I did both of my teaching practice at Teachfield, and I got A for my second year, B+ for third year. And so, but Jonesy wasn't all that bad. I mean, the head had some value.
All right, that sounds real good. So probably this is the second to last question in regarding. So just name out some of your classmates that you went to school with that you could remember, and some of your teachers during the time.
Easy. That's easy because I have a very good memory, In grade, let me start at grade
what?
7.
What?
I don't remember Ches Anthony Plummer.
Yeah, man, I know Ches.
Ches, Leo Rose, Winston Bolt, Delroy, what's Delroy last name? You used to call him Junior. He's from Montego Bay. He spent a year and then went to Herbert Morrison Comprehensive. He had Latoya Jackson, Jerry, Melissa Jackson, Carlene, Marcia. I don't remember Marcia's surname, but I remember Marcia. We had Opal Pennycook. Well, there's a particular person. If she's listening now, she's probably getting upset that I haven't called her name yet. But I tell her I leave the best for last.
Okay.
Right? But in 8th grade, but let's go to say grade 11. Because when we go to grade 8 now, we had Kirk Williams was in my class too. When we went to grade 9, we had Dwayne Bent, Omar Golab, Austin Bryan. I don't, the funny thing is I don't know if it's Austin Bryan or Brian Austin. Because I used to call it two surnames. But we had Elone Goldburn and a couple others. Altika, we had Denise, we had Bethia, in my class in grade 9. When I went to grade 10, now we have a mix-up now. We had like Malachi Rowe, Kenny Groves, Alton Beckford, Wayne Burrell, Kevin Demetrius, Christine Taylor, Fenyo Anna Singh. I'm almost looking at my class right now, you know.
What?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Why
man,
it sound
all of them.
excellent, excellent,
I remember
excellent.
all of them,
Well,
man.
you know, well, we just want to shout out to everyone
Oh,
that
hold on, before I leave, because I haven't called Annette
Hold on,
Hendricks
you
yet.
call the one it is best for last. Hold it.
Yes,
Don't
Annette
give it no
Hendricks,
trouble.
man. Annette and I went together along the pathway from basic school right till grade 11 at Steths. We never parted company.
Wow.
From basic school, from class 1. We went to class 1, then class 2, we skipped class 3, went into grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, right up, grade 8, then we go to Steths, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11. One time, I don't remember what she did, and I was very upset. And I asked her, I said, what the hell me have to do to get rid of you?
Yeah, it's right.
Because, yeah, man, we were like inseparable. We were very good, we were good friends, good friends. And we helped each other along the way. And I've never ever forgotten Annette. And I'll never forget her. But because she and I walked the same path right until grade 11 when we finished. And I left Steths and come to Kingston. That's where we separated our part company. And I still see her on Facebook every now and then. She still WhatsApp me and we still talk and stuff. But she a special person, man. Good friend of mine.
All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Do you have any question about Steths, Ian, that you want
All
to
right. I
share?
won't let him go too much more in the States. He give us a lot of the States. And we know we're saving the best for last also. Because we all know that, as we said, he's gonna be running for president of the Jamaica Teachers Association. And all of us here, we wanna know how we could get out everybody who can vote to cast a vote for this man. Because we can see this man is coming from grassroots up. Man, he know what it is to fail and he know what it is to rise. Because even if you hear him discuss going through nervousness, even though a child maybe have potential and bright, but just sitting that exam is a different story. So, and I realize with this, Mr. Winston, you have some of the best principal. Mr. Crawford was one of my best principal. And when you start moving along and you have been better than him, that tell me that you basically have gotten an education that it is next to none. You have been taught by the best of the best. So that is very good. Those are the type of people we want to have, elect. So we get in there. So going into, I know if you come off and you don't give a shout out to the Case family, you're gonna get in some trouble too. So since you shout out to the Steths family and
all the Case family, man. I mean, that is, you see, Case is a little more difficult now, because Case, even though I was at the teachers college, I had a lot of friends at the agriculture side too. Because at Case now, Ian, I used to play cricket for Case, I played, myself and Audley Sanson was the only two grubman who played on the college team when we were in first year. Right? And Sanson went on to play for Jamaica. I think he's still teaching. I think he teaches at Steths. He's teaching at Steths now. But we played for the 3 years over there. And so we had people like Sanson. And there are other guys from the agricultural side that I remember, what's his name, Gary or something like that. But I know them by face, but we don't remember them name like that. But from the education side, no.
Since we're dealing with the teaching, because this is your specialty.
Focus on the teaching side.
Yeah, I want to name out at least few of the teachers, and then after that, I want you tell us now how long you have now been into the whole education.
All right.
And at what level?
From the Faculty of Education now at Case. When I was in first year, you had with me in first year people like Alton Evans. We had Marcia DeMontenac, who got married by Armsby, Karen Brown, Diane Brown, Andre Davis, Carol Price, Khalil Gordon. From my class. We had Shirlene Pinnock and so forth. Then you had from people who did the same secondary thing like us. You had Carol Dice, who became my wife. And you had Yonil Wood, Suzette Downer, Marlon Lindsay, you had Richard Gordon, Robin Stone Thomas. From the primary section now, we had Valda Finley, we had Dion Stern, we had Gail Barker, Shernet Barker, and most of these people now probably would have one you'd have to go into them grub name because in college sometimes you don't even know the first name, you know them by the grub name. Yeah. But we had before, we had guys who were in like second year when I was in first year. We had a guy who was called Dogblood, Clifford Bailey, I think his name was. We had Lorraine Farr, we had Nachilus, Dale Edwards. I mean, I'm seeing all of them, but to recall their names right now, and I don't know if some of them want to grub name to be broadcast like that. So,
now, guess what? You have done exceptionally well. So now we're gonna get into the meat of the matter. You know, you and know what would have basically drive you into the education system and now believe that you can make a change in terms of what is happening. I've realized you have seen a lot of what is happening, so you know the ins and the out. So I want to know the major achievements that you have accomplished over the period, and know what are the contributions that you think that you may bring to the JTA if you get elected. So you could answer it however you want to answer it. I'm going to allow you the stage for you to take that, you know, and let the people know exactly what is your plan, what's the goal.
All right. My first introduction to the code of regulation. I remember we were doing this course at college, educational society, and I went out to go into Port Antonio. And when I reached the college gate, I found the blue book. I didn't know anything about code of regulation, but I saw the book on the ground and I took it up and started reading through it. And I was fascinated by what was written. And it said Code of Regulation Act of 1980. And if you don't realize, it started speaking, it spoke to teachers. I kept the book. And even this day, I still have that book. I still have it. I've never given it away, and I tried not to lose it. I read the book from cover to cover maybe 10, 15 times. When I started teaching, I was already dissatisfied to some extent with the JTA, even though I was a member, and I used to criticize and say, listen, I think they could do better for the teachers. And it was not until in 2006 now I was elected a contact teacher at my school, and I still was a little upset, feeling that more could be done for the teachers of Jamaica. But when Michael Stewart now was running for president in 2008, I believe, he was campaigning. Now, Michael Stewart, Ian, you probably know him because he was the principal at Rosal after Mr. Crawford. He wasn't my principal, but he was Linval and PJ's principal. But I knew of him because my bigger brother at that time and the family kind of adopted Rosal School, and we used to supply them with things for the school and to help Mr. Stewart as a new principal to really settle in at Rosal and so forth. So he came to Papine to campaign, and when he came there, I met him and I said, "You're Michael Stewart?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, and I went to him and said, "Listen, I am Winston Smith from Rosal." And the name Rosal and Smith resonated with him. And he started, we had a dialogue, long conversation now. And I started to share with him some of my disappointment with JTA. And he said to me that, why, if you're so passionate, why not come and join the struggle, and see if you can make a change. And instantly, I remember this French scientist named Le Chatelier. When I was doing chemistry in college, he said that he had what we call a Le Chatelier's principle. And I'm kind of paraphrasing. He said that if a system is disturbed out of equilibrium, then the system itself has to perform a change to restore equilibrium. And having heard that from Michael, to say, why not come and be a part of it? I realized that whatever is wrong with the JTA in my mind then, back in 2006, 2007, 2008, if you're on the outside, you can't change it. You have to be on the inside to make that change.
So true.
So I thought about it, and then my friend Wayne Mullins Wayne and I went to Steths together. And he and I used to be in Shaka office together. So Wayne came by now because Wayne was campaigning for Michael. So he came the following or some other days after. And I saw him and I said, "Wayne, what go on?" And tell me, and we had the same conversation. I said, "Listen, Winston, man." Well, he called me Winnie, because say I have that of my name in my country. And he said, "Winnie, why not join it? Come join the thing, man." I'm saying, "No, sir, because I'm not going to be vexed. I don't know about anything else." He said, "No, man, come, man." And he said, "Well, I don't even know if you guys have a meeting." And he was the one who introduced me now to the Eastern St. Andrew District Association for the JTA. And I went to that first meeting at Jamaica College. And when I went here, I started to tell them all the things that they should be doing that I thought they were doing and how they should do it. And I was able to quote the regulation because I studied the code of regulation inside out. I read the regulation like a hard-nosed Christian read them Bible. As a matter of fact, my regulation sleep beside me.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I took it very serious, man. And when I went, after making my presentation, I was elected the president-elect instantly, you know.
What?
The teachers said, no, man, people like you we need here, someone. So I was elected the president-elect for the district association. It just so happened that in September, when I should have started my tenure as president-elect, the president, Sean Vaughan, still my good friend even to this day, he got a job and had to move out of the district association. And the parish president then, Vivi Mothersill, called me and said, listen, you will have to step up and become the president. And I became the president from 2008. And nobody wanted to take the presidency from me. Every election, I won. Nobody. As a matter of fact, most of the time I run unopposed. Because the teachers in that cluster, you know, I would, anytime they called me, I had an answer. And wherever they needed me, I was always there. You know, to help
work
them.
on integrity, man.
Yeah, to understand, interpret the regulations. Then, having gone now, because when you become the DA president, guys, you become a member of the General Council. Having gone to the JTA now as a member of the council, I met up with guys like Patrick Smith, Juno Gill, Basil Benji, Sherlock Allen, Ray Howell, Cyril Liebert, Michael Stewart was there as well, Doran Dixon. And these guys, you know, mentored me. Dundee Hewitt, Woodburn Miller. These are guys who pretty much mentored me, but more so, Patrick Smith took me under his wings, and Sherlock Allen, these two men, took me under their wings like a son, you know. And Patrick would jokingly say to me that his name is Patrick Roy Smith, and I'm Winston Roy Smith, so people think I'm his son. And I mean, I would accompany him to the Ministry of Labor to represent teachers. I would have gone with him to the Appeals Tribunal to represent teachers. And he taught me a lot of stuff, you know. And by that time, you know, I was doing industrial relations at UWI. So I was really bringing in, you know, the theoretical framework from UWI into the practical setup at the JTA, coupled with my knowledge and understanding of the Education Act and the education regulation, which made me now a formidable individual within the association. The JTA saw my work and they selected me and sent me to do some young leaders training in 2009. So I was trained by the JTA and the Swedish Teachers Union in terms of industrial relations, teacher representation, and so forth. And I said, you know what, this thing is nice, man, and I like it. So by 2012, I became the president of St. Andrew. When I became the president of St. Andrew, this was where now my knowledge of, as I say, Rosa, I'll take one cocoa full basket and every little bit to make a cocoa. Yeah, man, I had to bring that application because when I became the president of St. Andrew, we had done, I was the president-elect at the time, and we invested in a fundraising event that failed miserably. And the parish was now in the red. We were in deficit. But we had a $69,000 bill. And so I inherited the parish with negative $69,000 in the account. And I set to work. I motivated my team that was working with other district presidents and the executive of the parish. And we set to work. And when I finished my presidency of St. Andrew Parish, guys, I paid off the $69,000 bill, entered all the 14 disciplines that the teachers have available to them, won 4 out of 5 of them, and I left $225,000 in the kitty for the president who came after me. So we basically restored the parish. And right now the parish is on a trajectory that I don't think any parish in the island can catch us again. Having done that now, yes, but when I finished with all of that now, Dr. Nicely became president of the JTA. Clayton Hall, first of all, Clayton Hall became president in 2012. And he asked me to chair a national committee. So I now move from parish president now to national chairman. At that time, I tell you, it was a new challenge, but having come out of Rosal, and I can still hear Mr. Quaverd in my ears telling me, listen, you can do it. Don't look at the job, just do the job. If you look at the job, you may get overwhelmed by the magnitude of the job. Just focus on the little pieces that you need to do right now. And I keep hearing him in my head telling me, just keep on, focus on the little things. And I did that, and I was a resolutions chairman at the time, and I brought several resolutions to the council, to the conference, which we debated. And I remember, and even now in my campaign, I talk about it. There's a district in Upper St. John's District Association in St. Catherine, and then Mobile 2 in St. James. And the Teachers' Day sports, which was changed from the middle of the week to the weekend. These were 3 resolutions that I fought vigorously for. And it was, I can still remember my closing arguments on the teachers, on the sports one, that caused the whole conference to sway. And
let us hear it, man.
I remember saying to them, the debate was really going hot, you know. And I asked Paul Adams, who was president, then to give me a chance to speak just before, you know, the move of the resolution would speak. And I got up and I said to them that, listen, Jamaica is regarded as a Christian country. And there are many Christians across the length and breadth of Jamaica. And yet God created man that none of us should perish, but we should all have eternal life. But many people are going to go to hell. And people are going to go to heaven. The fact is, nothing that we do will suit everybody. The reality is, boys' champs, the most successful day or days are Friday and Saturday. Yes, I understand that the Adventists may be disenfranchised, but we have to look at the greater good. If we keep it on the Saturday, then more teachers will be able to attend, which means that we don't have to pay so much people to work because the teachers could volunteer their time. The teachers will be there to support their students. The teacher will be there to help control and maintain discipline. And at the same time, it will be a good show. So the optics will look good for the association. And since that we know that not even heaven, everybody will go. Then there should be no ill will, you know, changing to Saturday and give more teachers the opportunity to participate. And when I finish with that speech, all the Adventists and voting for it to change. And I mean, it was fun, you know. I seen it happen. It was great. But 2013, my brother, was when I became after chairman of resolution in 2013. In 2012, 2013, Dr. Nicely selected me now to be the national chairman for the Industrial Relations Committee. Well, at that time, it was called the Salaries and Conditions of Service Committee. When I got that job, I was pretty much very, very young in the field, but my knowledge of industrial relations was really top class, in my opinion, because I finished my course at UWI, top of the class in IR. So much so that my lecturer, Dr. Cowell, would ask me to take his class for him whenever he can't come. I would be the one that teaches lecture the class for him. And I remember he gave me a 10-hour run. And when he came back, the students and said, no, we don't want you. Make me go and teach a class because me better you. But I mean, that was a tongue and cheek still, but you know, it felt good to hear. Yeah, and so I went there as the salaries chairman. At that time, we had just completed reclassification, which started when Doran Dixon was president, and we had the reclassification. The money was paid, but we realized that the government had short us $8 billion. Ray Howell pointed it out to me one evening. He called me and said, Smithy, the government short with some money, you know. He said, how much money? He said, by my calculation, it looked like $8 or $9 billion. So I sat down for almost half of the night and went through the whole thing and recalculate and look at it and realize that we're $8 billion and change. Short. Yeah. So I called Dr. Knightley and informed him about it. I was the president and Patrick was the deputy secretary general. And we went to the Ministry of Finance, we argued our case, and we got our $8 billion. So that was a major accomplishment for me as a chairman at the time. The other thing of note during that time, there are 2 things of note. There are some teachers who did their degree using under a program called a side program. And the ministry didn't want to pay them for the degree to say that it wasn't accredited at the time. And again, myself, Dr. Knightley, and the Salaries Committee went to the Ministry of Finance. We argued our case again, and we were victorious. The teachers were paid their money, which was very good to report to the General Council at the time. I felt good about it. And in the year 2013, the Jamaica Teaching Council bill was upon us. And I tell you this, my brother, when I read the bill from cover to cover, that bill was so egregious to teachers. It almost like you hear Satan tell Jesus, said, please help me. And that somebody was really an atrocious document. I went back to the JTA and I was upset about it. So I wrote a resolution to say that JTA must reject the bill, and not only reject it, but we must march from the JTA head office to the Ministry of Education to give them our response. And when it was time to march, quite a few people did turn up, but I was right at the head of the march. I was right there, PP clock.
All right. Yeah, good troublemaker, man.
Yeah, and we tell people all the while that if I was alive in the days of Paul Google, I would have my machete and a chop and stone go to Spanish Town. Because I believe in advocacy and I believe in representing, especially people who need representation but can't help themselves because they don't have the understanding or they don't have the confidence or they don't have the time. I hate to see people take advantage of these kind of people. And when you trouble them kind of people, brother, it evokes in me a kind of passion and commitment and advocacy that nobody can stand in my way to defend the poor and the downtrodden, are the persons who need representation. In the
So
JT,
Winston, let me ask you a question. So, being the position that you're running for, how would you transform changes? Obviously, you're going to have to build a team with you in order to get effective change. I know you could go in there and you could say, well, this I want that, but not having good people that you could get to to formulate the same policy with you.
Right.
So do you have a board? How would that work?
All right. Every president has the option of choosing chairman of committees who will work with him. Right. Okay. Now, the general council is made up of, and I want to, part of my thing is to educate people. The general council, guys, is made up of the 14 parish presidents. Then in Jamaica, we have 78 district associations. So the presidents from each district association, along with the secretary for each of the 14 parishes. Right? So you have the 78 from there. So then you have the 14 parish presidents and their secretaries. You have now sector groups, so like the Principals Association, the Guidance Councils Association, and these different sectors within the education. You have a representative from that, and you have a representative from the tertiary, from teachers' colleges, the young voice people. Now, after that is done, the regulation or the article of association allows, back then it allowed you now to co-opt 15 people. I wrote a resolution to change that, to say that we must expand it, and instead of 15 people, we now should co-opt 20. But the president must not be able to touch more than 15. So 5 ordinary persons from conference will be co-opted now to the general council to serve at the highest level of the JTA. That was a resolution I wrote and debated in 2017, and it was successful and implemented forthwith. Now, as a president now, guys, when I should become, not if and when I become the president, because I'm confident I'm going to win. Yes. I lost last year. I ran last year, came second. I got 3,209 votes last year to Mr. Gabriel at 6,000 something. But this year, I'm sure I'm going to win. Because teachers are
we're behind you with that one, man.
Right. And teachers are sent to the people. So I know they're going to vote for me. When they look at my profile, they're going to vote for me. I don't want to be tongue and cheek, but I think if my opponent may end up vote for me.
Well,
you've been really working.
So get back to, as I said, so my plan is to look at, all right, I'm going to really put in the skeleton plan for when I become president. I am looking to choose a chairman, one from each parish. So every parish under my stewardship will have a parish president, a parish secretary, and a national chairman sitting on the general council. Right? Which means that I would get a fair view or understanding or information from right around the country as the needs of the teachers may be as they arise. For me, I have good people in my camp who are working with me. Wayne Mullins is my campaign manager. Still are good friends, and he's managing my thing. And incidentally, and interestingly, guys, my campaign team that is working very intimately with me on my journey has a representative from each of the parish of Jamaica right now. It doesn't mean that they will be in my cabinet as chairman, I'm just saying that is the kind of balance I bring. And I have people from right around the country campaigning for me and working with me. And I'm looking at things that over my 26 years now, I think it's actually 27 years, 1993 to 2020, that's 27 years. So over my 27 years in education, I've sat down and looked at some of the major issues that really bothers teachers. I have corrected those things at my school where I've been principal. So I've been a principal for 8 years now. I don't think I said that to you guys. In 2012, I became principal of Constitution Hill Primary School. Now, Constitution Hill Primary School was slated to close because it wasn't performing well. And I didn't know all of that though. When I knew that was in 2017 when I left, that was when I knew that the school was scheduled to close. When I took up job as principal there, most of my friends ask me if I'm crazy. Teachers at JT and everybody ask me. Some persons ask me if I'm crazy because you're going to a school at the time we had 42 students. The literacy and numeracy rate was very poor, 40 something for the literacy and 37 for the numeracy. But when I went there, I told myself, no, you can't allow this to happen because if the school closed, teachers are going to be out of a job. If the school closed, what about the poor people in the community who are not able to send their children into the town to school? And I purpose in my heart that as long as I'm the principal of this school will never close. So I started to motivate the teachers and to get them. First thing is to let them know, don't worry about your job. I am not terminating any one of you. I am going to work with you. I started teaching grade 4. Now, remember, I'm trained to teach secondary school. I taught in secondary school all my life, so to speak. But I had to be teaching grade 4, and I was doing it and working. It was very difficult, believe me. And that is why I tell you that I have first-hand knowledge and understanding of how difficult it is, especially for principals who have to teach. We motivated the teachers, I walk the community, talk with the parents, share my vision with them, share my background, my history, let them know that, listen, I understand what hardship is like and the value of education. And I started to go about getting the school looking good, change the way the school, the very appearance of the school. When I was painting to paint the school, I didn't have money, but a gentleman in the community gave me $10,000 in 2012, which I used to buy paint. And I met a friend of mine I would ask Papi in school at the time to buy the paint for me so that they could get the tax exempt. And they got it. And I started painting the school. And when I started painting the school, it was myself, or just me alone.
What?
And every day, me alone. Every day I went up to school and I started painting the school myself because nobody was there to help me until a little old man one day saw me and he said, Mr. Headmaster. I mean, at the first month they called me headmaster because I stand here and the people of Monroe used to call headmaster. The man said, Mr. Headmaster, sir, then you alone can manage your work. I said, then since you know that, go help me, And he came by and he started painting. So myself, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Levy, he died about a year or two ago, and I made sure to go to attend the funeral and made a tribute to him. But he came on board and we painted the entire school. I got an electrician to do some work for me at a reduced price, and we put in the lights and the school started to look good now, Because I use a low sheen, the low sheen paint. So when the light shine on the low sheen, it actually shine and look pretty. So the school started looking pretty, and we clean up the yard, and I fully work in that summer. When I opened the doors of Constitution Hill in September 2012, I opened the doors with 88 students down from 42. And we say, all right, now that the population increased, I have to stay true to my word. I promised the parents that their children will do well. And I started to work on the teachers now and to make sure that every little thing we give them a little award here, so when they do well and, they motivate them and prep them up and so forth. And they started to work on, there are days I'm at school till 10 o'clock at night. Work on it. When we were inspected now by the Ministry of Education, we moved from desperately in need of support to satisfactory. And when I left Constitution here, my friends, our literacy rate was at 92.8.
Wow.
From 40 something to 92.8. Our numeracy moved from 37 to 76 point something, roughly 77. And when I was to leave the school, the community almost crashed. I had applied for the spring. Yeah, man, and they had a big surprise send off for me. I didn't even know they were planning it, but they had a big send off on the 7th of May 2017, and they called me back to the phone. And when I went there, at that time, Royal Reed was the Minister of Education, he was the guest speaker. That was when I learned a lot of stuff I didn't know. Because that was when I knew that had I failed Constitution, he would have closed. That was when I knew that the ministry was actually tracking my progress and watching and following me every step of the way. Because he was the one who came and revealed all of those things to the community. And it was really pleasing to hear, because I never knew I did so much until the current principal now, she was there with me. And she documented all the things I did to transform Constitution Hill. And when she showed me the paper of 48 things that I did in 5 years, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
I'm telling you,
the results.
I'm so happy that we're able to share this story, because this story, the work that you've been doing, it was just a matter of time. And one thing I want to say, because with all the hard work you're doing, I know that you have a strong support from your family.
Yes, listen. One of the things that my wife and kids, they knew that I'm committed to my work. Whatever I set my heart at. So they just give me space and time to do my business, to do my thing. Right? What I look at, you see, and this is something my daughter said to me a few weeks ago. Because my daughter, as I said to you earlier, my daughter is away now at school abroad, and I should have been there with her, but I opted to stay because I told her that I want to give it one more chance, one more shot at running for the presidency of the JTA, because I really believe that there's plenty I can do and I want to do for the teachers of Jamaica. But when she called me the other day, it was her birthday, and she said to me, "Daddy, do you realize that I'm going to be 17 years old, and this is the first time in my life you're not going to be able to come into my room and to hug me and say, 'Happy birthday, princess,' and kiss me like you always do." And then she said to me, "Nobody start vex no man, because I understand. I understand, and if you don't run for the president, I would be upset, because from I was born, you have been in JTA, and from I was born, you're telling me that you want to be the JTA president. And last year when she was here with me, she went all over Jamaica with me, campaigning to Europe." Yeah, man, she helped me campaign. My son is a little bit more reserved like his mother, so, but my daughter is more like me. But my son will call me, even today I spoke to him and he said, "Daddy, how things are going with the election, make sure you win, because you know someone want to win and things like that. My brother, oh Lord, I think sometimes I don't even want to tell my brother and sister then, because they might get all up in that, and go on too much. Because they are very, very, very interested and supportive. But I tell you guys, I think I have the best family. I mean, my mother, I spoke to her before coming on here with you guys. And she called me to tell me that she saw the video going around that I sent for teachers, Father's Day and Mother's Day, and how she didn't even realize that she was in the video. And she was laughing at me and said, "Well, ask me where we get that picture from." But my family stands resolutely behind me. Both my church family, my immediate family, not to mention the teachers of Golden Spring. Guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate my teachers, both at Golden Spring and Constitution. My vice principal at Golden Spring is the greatest man. At the best. There are many days I would have said to her, sometimes I sit down and call her and say, "Miss Foster, come here, please." And she'll come to my office and I sit down and say, "Boy, Foster, I'm not sure if I want to bother with that JTA thing here, because I just not." And she looked at me and she said, "Sir, you're crazy. Don't worry about school. You go and go do your thing. I will run school for you. Anything you need, I will do it. If I come across a point where I can't make a decision, I'm not sure, I will send you a message. But you don't worry about school. School is locked. Myself and the senior teachers have your back. My teachers tell me every day. If you had my teacher's number, you see them running on their status, my promotional things. My ancillary staff, my groundsmen, my watchmen. Listen, guys, I tell you, I have some workers at Golden Spring. I would never trade them in for anybody at all, brother. Are the best set of teachers, man. Me love them. I tell you the truth, me love them, man. Me love them bad. Because they really put out their heart and soul in supporting me. Not just to do the work at school so that my school look good in the eyes of the ministry and the public, but they call me, they talk to me, they motivate me, they encourage me, they support me, they stand with me. And there are days when I feel down. I remember one day I really feel down and I just couldn't bother. And Miss Luke and Miss Audrey came to school. I came in the office and Miss Luke said to me, "Sir, oh you look so? Don't worry yourself, man. God got your back. We got your back." You know? And it really lifted my spirit to hear, your teachers talking about you like that, and it motivates and pushes me along to continue to do well and to look out for them because I really take good care of them. I really take good care. I try my best to take good care of them. The challenges that other teachers have in their schools, my teachers don't have those problems. Because when they come to me, I teach them and I tell them that I want to run my school with transparency, honesty, with integrity. If you ask me something, if you don't prepare to hear the truth, don't ask me. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Even if the truth means that it made me look bad, I'm going to tell you the truth still.
Integrity.
Yeah, man. My philosophy, and I said to my vice principal all the while, don't come complaining to me or don't tell me about a teacher not doing well. Because if the teacher fails, then the supervisor fails. And if the supervisor failed, then you, the vice principal, would have failed. And if you, the vice principal, failed, then I, Winston, as a principal, has failed. And since I can't afford to fail, I am not going to let any of you fail. So whatever the problem is, let us work it out together and get us on the right path without any hassle or any stress. And you don't have to feel as if here is a background master, because I'm not a background master. I'm just poor little Winston from Busha country, who God has blessed to elevate so that and the way I see it, Ian, is that my experiences, I've had a rough life, but when I look at my experiences now, I thank God for them because through those experiences, I'm able to help anybody who come along my path. You can't come to me with a problem and leave without a solution because I'm going to find a solution for you. Yeah. Even if I can't do it, sometimes I have to draw on my own brothers, my brothers and sisters. We draw on them for help and to say, listen, I have this issue. How do I go about doing this? I tell you a joke. One day, Lord, let me get upset until I couldn't. I begged him, I couldn't even talk to him for a couple of days. One day I was at Constitution, Illinois. I had a brilliant plan in my mind, but the plan now work out good. And I was upset with my teachers, but I didn't say anything to them. I was just upset and I was leaving, going home, and I said to myself, why not call Lloyd? Because Lloyd always have, answers to whatever you ask. And I call him. He was abroad at the time, and I called him and I said, Lloyd, I have a problem. He said, what is your problem, Winston? I said, listen, the teachers, them not working the way me want them to work. So he started to go through and he said, explain yourself better. And I told him everything. Guys, would you believe that Lloyd look at me? Well, he said to me on the telephone, it's not a teacher problem you have, So I said, what problem is it? He said, the problem is a problem of management. It's the leader, it's a principal problem. I was so upset. Here am I thinking my brother would stand up for me and defend me. But he said to me, the problem is with you. Obviously, you have not communicated your vision to your staff effectively. Wow. So you need to go home, think about it, and then go back to your staff and talk with them rather than talk to them. It was a very bitter pill to swallow. But we have to swallow it and drink plenty of water. The next day I went back to school, and rather than talk to the staff, I called all of them in my office and we had a frank discussion. I said to them, listen, I'm sorry. My approach was wrong. And I think I should hear from you guys because you are the ones in the field. And they started telling me. And after that conversation, guys, the school just take off. Yeah. So every time I talk about, I told Lloyd the other day that he trying to be modest to say, let it stay. But it was a turning point in my life as a principal. That very conversation with him. But I am very optimistic that the JTA will improve, will get better. And I'm not into this thing like some people talk about this president, that president. Because for me, the presidency is like a relay. And each president comes, you receive the baton, and you now run your leg. We're supposed to know that we're 400 meter 4x4 relay.
Yeah.
Everybody will not run the 400 split at the same pace. Yeah. But the important thing is, as long as you don't drop the button and you keep running, you will finish the course.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not about trying to outdo anybody, but really trying to do my best in the year that I serve as president. And in the 2 years that I serve as president-elect and immediate past president, and I'm confident that teachers will vote for me because they know I'm a man of my word and I'm a man of class. I believe
Right.
in the education sector. I believe in teachers. I believe in the work that we do. And I most importantly believe in the Almighty God. And I believe that God has chosen me for such a time as this. And I can't afford to let God down because I am a steward of His heritage, God's people. And it is my duty to do the best I can for the heritage of the Lord Jesus Christ, which is the teachers of Jamaica. And not just the teachers, the students and every parent, the government of Jamaica who invests in education. It is our duty to make sure that we do the best that we can. And if it is through the arm of the JTA as president to help direct, coordinate, control, and lead Jamaica in a positive and progressive way, then that I am committed to do without trying to hurt, upset, or badmouth or malign anybody. Because as far as I'm concerned, we are all working for the same common goal, which is education of our children, a good working environment for our teachers, a productive country, and a system that redound to the benefit of everybody. That is what I'm seeking to do, guys. But
All right.
God knows the path, and I'm just leaning and trusting the Lord for Him to deliver the opportunity in my hands.
Man,
Man, go ahead, Ian.
go ahead, Ian. To Ian
No,
here now.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
saying that I'm feeling your energy and your passion right now. I am really, I really, wish you all the best. And I know that all the Steths family and all the teachers that you associate with, I could feel that the support will be there for you because just by hearing you talking, I mean, you're talking from deep, like real, real
Yeah.
deep. And I mean, as a man, for me personally, I'm a man of my word, and I try to keep my integrity in line, and I try to let my work speak for itself. And I'm telling you, I am hearing from the bottom of your heart that you will no doubt be a successful president of this year, and you're
Yeah.
destined for this position. I, without knowing any of the other candidates, I really I probably would have just voted without hearing, even though with all fairness for everybody, you would want to hear what they have to say. Because sometimes people that you run against, sometimes they actually come on board with you, because they realize that what, it's probably better for me to work with you. I'm not there yet, so it's all about being an effective leader.
Yes, man. One other thing I want to say to all the teachers of Jamaica who are hearing me, whether you're abroad on vacation leave, as long as you're still employed as a teacher in Jamaica and you're a member of the JTA, please let your contact teacher, your DA president, get your teacher's number or your TRN and submit it to the head office. The cutoff date is the 10th of July. Colleagues, if you don't submit your data or your information, so to speak, to the JTA, you will not be able to vote. If you don't vote, colleagues, you are giving up your right to have your president of choice. There's no such thing as a no vote. If you don't vote, then you're actually voting for the choice for a candidate that you'd never want. Because by not voting, you're allowing somebody else that you never want to vote for a chance of winning. So please, colleagues, vote. Remember, submit your teacher's number or your TRN or both along with your email address so that your ballot can be sent to you via email. It's electronic voting that we'll be doing this time around due to COVID-19. And I'm asking teachers, look at it this way, colleagues. The Ministry of Education has your TRN. Banks have your TRN. The tax office has your TRN. Your TRN is not as secret as you think it is, you know. And if somebody wants to do any nefarious activity with your TRN, trust me, it can be accessed. So therefore, don't be afraid to submit to your union, your TRN. Scamming is still going on all over the world. It doesn't stop people from using online banking. I'm asking all teachers, don't be afraid. Submit your TRN or your teacher's number along with your email address so that when it is time to vote, you vote for Winston Smith. Remember, you know, my aim is to make a positive change in the JTA. I want to advance all educators through diligence, integrity, hard work, and commitment. And let me share something with your colleagues. If you are going to build a skyscraper, one of those nice tall buildings in New York that people love to look at, before you can build from the ground up, you have to dig deep into the ground. You have to plant a solid foundation deep into the earth in order for you to rise above the earth. Now take a look at my work in the association. I have dug deep and I've set a solid foundation. So when you look at my profile, you can see the quality of the foundation that I've laid. So therefore, it is not a problem for me to now build and to go high. If you don't have a solid foundation, then the building will topple over. Check it out. My opponent's foundation not that solid at all. So the profile is there for you to make your assessment. Look at it. We are critical thinkers. Let's get thinking. A tree, my friend, if it doesn't have solid root that goes deep into the ground, the first wind or breeze that blows, it topples over. If you select a president who does not have solid foundation, then the first challenge that comes at the Ministry of Education or Finance, it may topple over. The very Bible says that if you're going to select a deacon, he must not be a novice, lest he lift up in pride. But you must go for persons who are tried, tested, and proven. I am saying to you, my friends, I've been tried at the JTA, and I've proven well. I've been tried as a teacher, and I've excelled. I've been tried as a principal at a multi-grade school. Multi-grade meaning that 2 grades are in one classroom being taught by one teacher. And I have taught in that setting, and I've proven to be a success. I'm not a bigger school, and I'm still being a success. And I'm saying to the teachers of Jamaica, I have passed all the tests. Being the president is no less. I will pass that test too. But before I sit the test, you have to qualify me to sit in that chair by voting for me. And it's a vote that you will never regret. But it's up to you to make the choice. I know you're smart people, you're intelligent, you're among the brightest in Jamaica. So you would make the right choice by voting for Winston Smith. And then you will actually get to bask in the glory of seeing effective quality representation that is all inclusive, one of collaboration, consultation, and input from every sector. And no one will be left behind. Because I have some plans that I don't even want to unveil it not yet. Because you know what?
Let me tell you something. This is deep. And you know, never have I been at the edge of my seat. It's like I'm not in the whole educational field, but it's like I want to get more. The energy that you have radiating from you, the word that you're putting out there, you can feel the body, you know, you can feel the love, you can still feel the fire, the fight that you put on. If somebody ever tried to take down this sector in an education that are the skyscraper that you're about to build, you know, that's it. I can feel and hear the lion in you still. But at the same time, you have a heart that is full of love. You have a spiritual side of you that people probably don't even know. And that is the most important. When you have a higher power working
Yeah.
with you, I'll give you my vote any day. That's what I believe in, because I believe in work and integrity. But at the same time, I believe in people who are able to influence, motivate, uplift, build a bigger building,
Yeah.
bring,
That's my
bring
hallmark, brother.
instead of bring a single man, bring a nation. And
Yeah.
from all of that, sit on the edge of my seat, because I tell you, I can't go all the way back, But I end up to my camera, because basically the word that you speak, they are powerful. And guess what? I see you personally as a leader. I'm not seeing you since probably Steths when you leave basically after. But from primary school, basically would have been travel. I've been traveling in your footstep, I'll call it that, because every time I go to Rosa, you're my senior. I go to Steths, you're leaving. I go to Case, you're leaving. But somehow with Ian, the collaboration of Ian, we managed to arrest you tonight. So, I
It
really.
was it was my pleasure, man. Because when I saw your thing, I said, "Oh, Rockstone, wait." I mean, you look different because I'm still picturing you as this,
The
tall, slim,
tall
yeah,
boy.
man, boy. But I mean, there's another little fellow there from Rosa that I'd love to meet again. Mark Gibson. He went to
No,
Monroe to.
no,
He was much
he's
much
over.
younger than I. I know. I
Hold on,
think he's a boy.
Mark Gibson died, I think so.
What?
That used to make the man room.
Yeah, man. He went to Monroe.
I look from Outer Road.
Yeah.
I think it passed. It's sad, but
Oh
I think
my
he passed. And
God.
I don't want to say too much here, but I think he had passed.
That
And
little
it's.
boy. That little
I
boy
think
was like my little son. Him and
I think
Chadley.
yeah, I think it was a suicidal road. They found him in a tank. You know.
Oh my God.
So it's sad, but that's another thing
Well,
about life.
it was part of life still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
But
sad. We have a life to live, and that's why we want to leave a mark. When we're gone, we should leave a mark that our life still lives on. And from what you have done so far, you have already left a mark. Your footprint have been traveling along this educational sector. You'll see it up and down. It's like you have planted such seed, and they're always gonna be growing. They're always gonna be blooming. And guess what? Fruit is being bearing all over. 'Cause you know everything. 'Cause you end up in the agricultural school. You start to work on integrity. You start to Mr. Crawford from basic school. Obviously, you're a man of steel. I can't say no.
yeah, the thing
And
is, this, the thing is,
platform,
this, brother, we don't forget people, and I don't forget where I'm coming from. 2 years ago, I did a promotional thing for Rosal. And it will be so. If I tell you how I get into that situation, you would still believe me. I went to a principal retreat at Runaway Bay Heart Hotel, and the ministry was actually starting the plan to unveil. We have pilot of subject teaching in primary school, and they selected my school as one of the pilot schools. So we were down in Runaway Bay doing some training as principals to, prepare for the unveiling of that program. And I was there, I was sitting at the table with an education officer from Manchester, and we're talking, and I think my mother had called me, and I said, "Yes, mama, stop." I started talking to my mother now, like in their country.
yeah,
And it was like, "No, man, my so Smith, where are you from?" He said, "Well, boy, it's a long story, because we come from all over." He said, "No, man, the dialect, where you have the sound like you come from down a St. He said, "Yeah, man, I ride on a St. Elizabeth bush, me come from, man." I was like, "Give him the St. Elizabeth thing, You see me? I said,
we still have it.
so he said to me, "Which school you went?" I said, "I went to Rosal All-Age School, and my principal was Mr. Crawford." And he said, "You that school?" I said, "Yes." He got up, he went outside, and he came back and said to me that the principal needed to talk to me. At the time, I didn't even know who was the principal of Rosal School, because I know it was Samuels, but then I heard that Samuels had left, and I didn't know who had become the principal. Then when I answered the call, I heard a voice to me say, "Are you related to Lloyd Smith?" And I said, "Yes, he's my eldest brother." And this person said, "I'm Miss Wine, Kayan Wine, and I'm the principal of Rosal School." I said, "But I know your name, but I don't know of you from Rosal. I know of you from Hampton." Right? And she said, "No, she's the principal at Rosal now, and she wanted me to do something for him." I said, "What is it? Name it, I'll do it. It's Rosal." And she said to me that Week after next, she want me to go on CVM to do a program, I think, for her. I say, okay, no problem. I left the place and didn't remember anything about it. The night before, around 9 or 10 o'clock in the night, she called me and said, you up? I said, yeah. And luckily, she got me because at that time, I normally am sleeping. She got me and she said, you have to reach CVM for 5 o'clock. I said, CVM for 5 o'clock for what? You don't remember you're supposed to do the thing for me? He said, oh, Lord Jesus. And I had to call my VP and tell her that I may be late for school the next morning. And I got up, and read to CVM. I knew nothing of this. What was going to be asked of me? Nothing at all. I simply turned up at CVM. And I did the interview, did the promotion of their Mayfair. And when I went to school, none of my teachers who saw the interview wouldn't believe me. When I told them I had no script, I had no idea what was coming. All I did was simply speak from my experience with Mr. Crawford and the things that Mr. Crawford wanted to have done. And fortunately for us, it was pretty much the same thing that Rosal was planning. So everything just fit in perfectly. And I'm saying to Rosal, even to this day,
it did not fit in. You see, you're a man, a spiritual man. The Lord guide you accordingly.
Accordingly. Yeah. Up to this day, because I'm the vice chairman for our family has a foundation in St. Elizabeth, It's called the Pernell Evelyn Smith Foundation. And that foundation, what we do is the Smith family, 11 of us who would have passed through Rosal School. We sponsor children to high school from out of Rosal, St. Mary's, All-Age, and Red Bank. So the areas that my father and my mother would have, my father and mother would have interacted with.
The footprints of your foreparents.
Yeah, so what we have done is to say that, look, we have all 11 of us have made it out and we are doing very well. I must say we are doing very well and I'm very proud of my brothers and sisters' accomplishment and I'm grateful to God and, my mother is still alive and well. And we feel as a family that we need to help poor people from Rosal, Red Bank, Caroline, Dalton, Ginas, wherever.
The neighboring communities.
Yeah, man. So we have students right now in Monroe that we are paying. We're sponsoring them to go Monroe. We have we have 2 at Monroe. We have 1 at Hampton, 1 at Manchester High, and 1 at this university, Maritime Institute, Caribbean Maritime University. So we have students from there, and I'm the vice chairman for the foundation. So every summer, I will go down and interview them. There's a particular young man that I'm so impressed with him that we sponsored him at first year and we took him at second year, and I've asked my brother to continue with him right through. Because my brother is really the head cook and buckle washer for the foundation, but I'm the vice chairman. Jevin Dent, former deputy commissioner. Incidentally, she's our cousin. She's the chairman for the foundation, but I sit on the foundation as a vice chairman. And the foundation is drawn from people from within the community, like Claudette, Miss Claudette Thomas, Lloyd Thomas' wife. She was a teacher at Winston, right? Yes, she's on the committee. Elaine Stimson, from former principal of St. Mary's All-Age. She's also on the committee. And you probably know this guy, Dwayne Dent.
Yeah, man, Dwayne and me a classmate, and he's on here now. Dwayne is actually watching us. He's on here, my classmate.
Well, Dwayne Dent is on the foundation as well. So
we're not gonna add me next year.
So we met last year, but because of COVID, we haven't met yet. But I spoke to Lloyd already and Jevin to say, let us see if we can continue with some of those that we have already. And we're still trying to see if we can extend to some other students, because the foundation is about 3 or 4 years old now. But we are trying to develop it some more and to inject more funds into it so that we can help more children who are struggling financially. Because we are of the view as a family that if we can help 1 or 2 persons from the community who are academically inclined but is financially having financial struggles or challenges, then we should do it. And it's something that all 11 of us have fully much agreed on, and we're totally committed to it. And my father had a very good friend named Llewellyn Mitchell. He died. He passed on recently too with COVID, but that gentleman never forget us as a friend of the family. He and my father were very good friends, and my mother. he's also a part of it too. He used to chip in and send his contribution. And we're still saying to people, you can always come on board and put into the Evelyn and Pernell Smith Foundation, because we are trying our best to enhance the lives of children from Rosal and the surrounding communities, to make them better and to give them an educational opportunity that they can come out of Rosal, develop themselves, and go back to the community to really help develop Rosal again. Our commitment to Rosal School is second to none. And all 11 of us, we are still alive and well, we are healthy. And we are totally committed to that community. We don't forget it, That's the important thing. We don't forget where we are coming from. And I say to you, my friends, when my father died, Lloyd was just 16 years old. But Lloyd navigated the times and would have brought the family out. All 11 of us have benefited from high school education and from tertiary education. And the last time I count, almost, I think about 6 or 7 of us have a master's degree. And going, God has been good, and we want to uplift Rosal. And when I tell people that when I win, it's not about me. When I win the presidency of the JTA, I am just an insignificant speck in the whole scheme of things. It's about promoting Rosal as a community. It's about promoting Steths as an institution, Case as an institution, Michael, which was my finishing school. The University of the West Indies, Constitution Hill, Papine High School, Golden Springs, Stonehill, all the different areas that, that I would have benefited from in my experience growing up. My victory is for all of us. None will be left out, because every aspect would have contributed in some way or shape or form to who I am today. And I will always be grateful for the experiences I've had and the experiences I will have. And the aim is to make somebody's life better. You come in contact with Winston, your life should be better. I must leave you better than I have found you. If I don't leave you better, then I would have failed. And that's how I look at life, my brother.
All right. Let me say this. As I said, it seems like I've been trailing you all the way. And, we share a lot of similar passion. For me, recently, I've decided that personally, I want to help the youths. And just like you, youths of the community. But, I'm a cricketer, so I'm kind of passionate about cricket.
Yes,
and being passionate about cricket, I said to myself, I want to find kids at least starting from the primary. And the same thing, you're going back to the primary, you're going back to the grassroots. Okay? You have to build it from down there up. And I decided that I want to go into all these primary school and I want to donate. It start with the gears. I want to find a youth that have the talent, but financially it's a challenge. Yeah. And those are the people that I want to find. I know I'm not there in the community, but I want the people of the community to identify those youths. And then I'll come on board and I'll help them. I give them a bat, I give them a ball, a pad, whatever it takes to get them to be able to walk in their greatness, fulfill that, but not have to worry about the struggle of the going to school. Because we know, a lot of people, everybody waiting on that common entrance result. And a guy coming, now go on and say, all right, we help them. But after the first year, everybody forget about it, And there's such struggle.
They become a challenge for that.
Yeah, so I plan to do that. As I tell you right now, I have in my house over probably 80 bats just for primary school. And I say I'm going to find some school, at least put 4 in each school. That's how I start thinking already. So with you and your foundation that is there, I know the Thomas family is also big too. So we can come on board with you and do and the whole of you guys, because guess what? All of us have benefit from Rosa School. But I want to push it big, and I realize you have a big dream. You have a big, your thing is no normal thing. As I say, skyscraper. You can maybe so, and guess what? Now, this is something I want to share with the public. Ian is here. Ian is an Olympian. People don't even know that, and he's so humble. He's been a humble youth from Steths all the way through. Ian end up coming to Rosa here. My brother and Ian used to live at the same house. Ian come and stay at my house. Ian come to the south side of St. Elizabeth, so you know what it is about. Basically, I think my brother is the first to bring him on the south side there, so deep into our bushes. We can ride bicycle and play cricket and the real bush. I tell you something about Ian. It's the same passion that he carries with him. He's in the Rotary Club and all that stuff. He's always helping across Jamaica. And you hear he talk about getting even water for these type of school, because not because they don't have running water. We know in our area there's no running water like that. You know, we always challenge running water and all that stuff. We go through the challenge, you know it, what we
Yeah,
have
man.
faced over the years. And when you talk about fundraising, I think he's probably one of the best fundraisers there on board here too. So, we're looking to team with you in whatever way we can to help you. And I know people who are watching right now, without a doubt, they're gonna join force with you because they see and they hear it. Your heart, it is good. And in this program, this is the first time, me and Ian, we didn't plan who was gonna come on first. But when I realized who the Lord had sent, I said, Ian, God had sent this young man. You remember my text, I said, you have to be a man of God. I didn't you know it was you, I said, you have to be a man of God. And go back to the text and read that text that I sent you. And when you respond, you tell me that you're part of the apostolic church in Jamaica, minister in the apostolic church. I said, God, you're God. And I still didn't know who you be fully yet. I will know that you go Steths and you go Case. We have things in common. Not even to know that basically we're from the same district, the same primary school. But as we grow, we take our different features. We get, somehow we get like a clean and neat and, it. But I'm
Refine.
telling you,
Where's the rub of the country?
yeah, man,
Continent.
we drop some of the patwa to and just kind of punish it,
Yes, man.
But
We
we
can't
know
live
we know
for
the
the
roots.
pattern, man.
We know the roots.
Yes, man. You have to move on to your
No,
roots.
nobody can take it away from us. But really, tonight program, I must say, it's the first, but I say it's already a success. And I said I would not have you leave this program when God send you come to bless the program. So if you cannot say anything else, but you gotta close out this with prayer, because I know you came on this program to really RD in it and basically cover us as we go forth. We're gonna be a force for good, and that's all we want to be. A force for good for the nation, not just our community, but the wider Jamaica and the whole. And as I said, my thing is turn up. I'm thinking nationwide. So it's gotta be you closing out with prayer. I don't know how to hear him like look like he gone. Him like him put on a time, but I wanna see if you have anything to say, and then I'll give you a final word and your closing prayer. Ian, come back here, sir. So Ian, I don't know if you have anything to say, but this program, I said, it's already a success. Just having Mr. Winston Simit on. And Mr. Winston, probably you could tell him more about that spiritual side, because people on here who are very spiritual. That's the type of platform I have.
Okay.
Me and Ian.
You see, Ian, my father, my father died as a preacher, As a matter of fact, yeah, man, his last.
In the church.
Yeah, man, in the church. His last duty was to preach at a church in Monimus. And after I finished preaching, he died. He had a brain hemorrhage, I was told. And my mother has always been an ardent member of the Apostolic Church. We grew up in the Apostolic Church. We all got to church. We all got saved and everything. And we still maintain our belief in God, our faith in God, and our Christian growing up. And that's something you can't change, Listen, I never understand when I was young. And they tell us if you train up a child in the way you should go, when he's old, he'll not depart from it. And it is until you grow up and you become an adult, you realize that of a truth, the Bible can't wrong, And our parents grew us up like that. And that has been the hallmark of our life all through. And so forth. So we can't forget God in anything we do. And everything you do, you have to consult God, because we wrestle not against principalities, but spiritual wickedness in high places. And you have people who want to tear you down just because you're moving on a different path. As a friend of mine once said that sometimes the light in you evoke or wake up the demon in some people, that they want to terrorize you. But when God has put a mark on you, nobody can take you off. And one of the things I remember saying to my son one day, I said, even if, I said to him, a prince in a dirty clothes is still a prince. No matter kind of garment he have on, he's still a prince. If he was born in royalty, then it doesn't matter. He still is. And as soon as he shed off in dirty clothes and put on in princely garment, he become royalty, And so it is that when you're born in and have a mark of God, it doesn't matter what become of you or what road or path you take, you still have that mark and you can't rub it off. And the most you can do is just yield to the will of God and allow God to rule and to dictate, the way you move in your
Amen.
life and how you go about.
Yes,
And always be
man.
mindful that whatever you do it as unto God. Because
Mm-mm.
we us need to understand. We need to understand. For us, it's something that we do understand. That when God created us and put us on this earth, He didn't put us to hype and show off and boast and to abuse and
Mm-mm.
take advantage of people, but He really put us here to serve mankind, to serve each
Mm-mm.
other, and to serve Him, and to bring people to that level of understanding that indeed there is a God, and that this God ought to be served in spirit and in truth, and that we must, whatever we do unto every little one, we do it as unto God. And you see, the Bible asks, I was hungry and you fed me not. I was naked and you clothed me. I was in prison and you didn't visit me. And the according to the scripture, he said, when did I see you naked and I feed you? And he said, when you never feed one, I'm a little one, them out the road. When you never take
Mm-mm.
care of this one. So, if we keep those things in our heart, then we'll always understand the importance of giving God thanks and praising God and worshiping God, because indeed, whether you believe it or not, there is a God. And He is the supreme God who rules in the affairs of man. And He put up leaders and He take them down. And He put, remember I said the same God put Pharaoh in position, who hardened Pharaoh heart and thing, But when the fullness of time come, Pharaoh have to just yield and yield. So it is that I am, and this is what I'm telling you, and I've said it already, and I say it again. I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is my time to shine.
Definitely.
Last year when I ran, I was zealous in the desire to win. But it's after I lost that it's like I had a what do I call it now? A revelation to sort of say, look
Yeah,
here, enough your time,
your time.
enough your time. Your time is to come. You know,
Mm-hmm.
David could not have slain Goliath until it was his time. He had to get some more training. You know, so maybe there's some things that I needed to learn. You know, or there's somebody that I needed to settle or to build or to uplift before I can now take on that mantle. But this time around, I can
Mm-mm.
feel, I can feel the success coming. I can feel the victory. You know, and I'm saying that I am impartial in my doings. It's not like I'm trying to look anything. Because, for example, my friend, when I finish presidency of the GT, I'm going right back to Golden Spring. I have no desire to go to any other school. I am still right. I'm going right back to Golden Spring, and I can put it out there in the public domain. Me no want no other school. Me a Golden Spring. Me want. And that's me there, because my job, my work, there's a lot of stuff I have in my heart to do for that school, and it is not yet done. And I'm not gonna leave until it is accomplished. So,
I love
me
the
not
boldness,
looking this,
man.
and me not interested in the politics. Neither orange, green, nor the church one we're coming up now, because politics too corrupt, in my opinion, and we can't afford to get so dirty. So I'll keep my garments clean from out of it. So I'm not looking in that direction either. My only aim right now is to serve the teachers of Jamaica and the Jamaican education system. That's all. That's my focal point right now from a professional point of view. To serve the teachers of Jamaica and to give them the best representation that I can humanly give by the grace of God, assisting me. And I said to my staff, one day I said to my VP that if the teachers of Jamaica could just ask the Lord to wipe away the mist from their eyes and allow them to see in my heart the heart I have for them, maybe if they see it, then they drop them, because they would not believe that a human being could really care so much about them. Because anybody really get a glimpse of the heart I have towards them, who now go jump for joy might collapse out of disbelief and surprise that I really have that compassion towards the teachers of
Right,
Jamaica.
Winston, I'm telling you right now, if I could if I have a school, I'm telling you, if I was able to put a school just by hearing you speak, man, I would
Yep.
definitely. I
Yep.
mean, your leadership skill. If I couldn't get it, I mean, I would definitely bring you in to speak to my school because as I said, I just love the passionless and I love the genuineness. And I mean, I'm like, I feel like I'm in similar ways, in terms of my history from where I'm coming from. I'm passionate about every single community. I'm passionate about every single journey that the Lord has taken me. And I mean, just the fact that and that's what I look for in a person. I look for their heart. I see where they get their where they get the guidance from, where they get the who they look up to. And I'm telling you, with what you're bringing to the table, I mean, it's more than
It's deep.
anything that I could, and it's more than anything that I could think of, man. So look, I want to wish you all the best in your journey. Whatever the results may be, I believe in my heart that you're the best candidate for the job. And whatever the results is, you're destined for greatness. So I hope that the Lord give you the desire for your heart, because I know right now the desire of your heart is to become the president. And I'm praying and I'm trusting, and I'll keep in my prayers, and just keep walking the route that you're walking, because as I said, as a spiritual man, you know that anything the Lord has for you is nothing, nobody can take it. So
Mhm.
whatever the results may be, as I said, I'm wishing you all the best. And my saying, my little saying is, I look at my life again. My favorite sport is soccer. I was more successful in track, but my saying in soccer that I use as a drive for me, and I'll share this, is when you're in a soccer game and you get knocked down, the ref blow the whistle, you get up and play. You stay in the game. You don't
Yeah.
quit and walk off the field. You get up, it's a foul, you're going to get knocked down. But guess what? You get up and continue to play the game, because it's part of the rule for somebody to foul you. So if they foul you, I mean, you keep going. You get up, you play. You might get a penalty, you might get a free kick. They might get caution, but it's the same thing in life. So whatever the
Yeah.
situation is, if you get foul, if you get tired, and you got to play smart, because in a soccer game we've been playing, and sometimes the goal don't come till the last minute. Sometimes the final results, you've been playing for 90 minutes, 85 minutes, and you're playing so hard to get one goal, and sometimes the goal come later on in the game, and you've been playing so much. So it's the same way the victory is going to come. The victory is not going to come at the start. It's going to come, so
After
you
the work is
continue to
done.
play, you continue your journey, stay in the game, whatever come at you, you know that, look, I'm going to keep playing. And the number one thing is, you never quit.
That's it.
Yeah.
All
All right.
right, guys.
Yeah,
So I
man.
have that
So
from I have that
let us.
from Ian. What I'm gonna just ask for my Facebook fans, Ian fans, you guys have heard the heart. You basically look like we're looking at it, and we can see the beat, we can see the rhythm that you have going. We're saying that, guess what? If you know any teachers out there, just let them submit their NIS card, whatever they need to submit, so they can cast a vote for Mr. Winston Simit, who is gonna take Jamaica and the teachers to a different level. When I'm talking now, elevation, not down, because skyscrapers we're gonna be building, and our kids gonna be much better off under the government and the running a Jamaican school with such a man, with such a heart. I just gonna give you the rest of the platform, Mr. Winston Smith, but I need the prayer to close it and bless me and Ian. Just let this program be a continuous success, and we look to bring you back on here after you have completed your victory lap.
All right, but so colleagues, again, just in closing, I just want to thank all the teachers who voted for me last year. And I thank all the teachers in advance who will be voting for me this year. Tomorrow, I should be participating in the parish meeting of St. James. On Tuesday, I should be with Trelawney and Westmoreland. And JT will be having a town hall meeting at 5:30. I'll be there, so they can tune into Facebook Live as well. And I think Instagram. I'm not sure what other platform, but I know Facebook Live will be on Facebook Live for the JTA debate. We'll see myself versus um, the other candidate. And my aim is to give quality leadership, quality representation without fear or favor, but honesty, diligence, work with integrity as we advance all educators, and we're looking to make sure that all sectors are represented and all the voices are heard, and we lead by example, sharing our knowledge and our passion with everybody to help each teacher along the way, so that all teachers can feel that they are indeed of value to the profession and to the schools and Jamaica as a whole. And we thank you, Ian Weekly, for having me. This is the first time I'm actually doing a live program like this. This is a new thing for me.
First for all of us, man.
So, but I figure it is a training ground, a practice for when the real for more things to come. And I see it in that light. I am very honored and humbled to be a part of your program, to be the first person you interview. And it's something that I'll always be grateful for, and I will not forget. No matter what I become in life, it was one of those things that we etched in the long-term memory of Winston Smith. And my children love to say, boy, daddy, your memory can like elephant. You can't forget nothing, man. Because I told them I can remember.
You did give it that to us. Remember all the state students, all the students back case, if they ask about Rosa, I remember everybody too. So
of course, I can tell you, I can tell the children from Rosa. We're talking about Van Buren, Patrick, Kiri, Junior, Annette, Claudine, Trishan, Charmin, Coletta, Juanita. All of these were students in my class.
Wow.
I can tell it, I can almost read off the class list, but it's all right. Another time we tell you that.
Yes, and the victory lap.
Yeah.
Anyway, before you finish, all the viewers, please share the broadcast. Share it. People need to hear this. Because just like how everybody been touched, everybody I know they're at the edge of them seat. Because, man, what you've been putting out here is just words of wisdom. We didn't have to be teacher. We didn't know anything about teaching. But what you put out here today, trust me, everybody get a total blessing. We feel that our teachers is going to be well taken care of.
That's my plan. That's my plan. All right, could we bow our heads in prayer? Eternal God, our Father, we give you thanks for your goodness and your mercies towards us. We thank you for availing this platform, this opportunity for us to reach and to meet with people right across the globe. Oh Lord, we thank you for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that has caused man to fashion situations like this and the technology that is available. We pray that we continue to do the things that are right in your sight, continue to be servants of the people whom you have placed under our care. Let it be, oh God, that this program be a blessing and that others will see you and will glorify you and we get an opportunity to testify of your goodness. Lord, help us and help us, my friends who are here, to never lose sight of the fact that indeed all good things come from you, who is Christ our Lord. Bless this program. Bless Jamaica land with love. And remember, even at this time, oh God, to protect my colleagues, my teachers, my students, and the parents of Jamaica, and indeed the wider world on a whole, from the ravages of COVID-19, so that when we shall return to school, we will return with peace and harmony, giving thanks that we have survived because of your saving grace and mercy. We commit this program into your hands right now, and we seek your guidance, your direction, and your leadership. I pray, Father, that you may touch the hearts of every teacher, that they will cast their vote in my direction, so that I continue to blaze a trail and to do that which you have committed and commissioned me to do, and that is to be a servant leader. Hear our prayer this afternoon, oh God, as we give you thanks in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Right. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Mr. Winston, for shedding
two
such
hours,
light.
and it was a very successful 2 hours, and
I didn't realize it was so long. But such is life.
yeah, man,
Gentlemen,
safe.
yeah, man, have a good evening and we talk again.
All right, later. All right,
Yeah.
bye.
Ian, you have 30 seconds. Close it out.
Oh, all right, I catch it because
Okay.
oh, so guys, yeah, I think what is it? June and what month in June and in June? What date is it today? So I guess as I said, the program was very successful for me. I still feel very energized. I wish I could take an hour break and bring on another guest, but that we have to all good things come to an end sometime. you know so with that said and done, as I said, we continue to put our trust in the Lord Jesus Christ, because I said He's going to direct your path. And because we not trying to do anything on our own path. We know the Lord is gonna He's gonna bring the next guest for us, that we hope to bring next Sunday, at the same time. And I said, we're just excited. Just want to continue to bless all the Steths family and all the fans. We hope to have many fans, from all over the world. Because we have a lot of stuff in store for. We hope to put people, interview a lot of fans and friends that could get the opportunity, to speak freely, on our platform. So we're gonna hope everyone that come in tonight. That I said, we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. We pray and trust that the program was a blessing. And until we meet again, as I said, guidance and protection, everyone. In Jesus' name,
Amen.
amen.